Yeah, those injuries, especially injuries that change fight cards, disappoint fans, and cost a lot of revenue. Yeah, we'd like to reduce those, and we'd like to build or find a better way to train so those don't happen. I mean, again, it's a violent sport. To Lawrence's point, you're going to get hurt doing this sport, but let's minimize it. Let's get hurt as little as possible. And something that also our guys haven't done is let's rehab properly.
Do you feel like you missed out in fighting and having a facility like this? How would that have been?
I was actually very fortunate. I went out and got good strength coaches. I had good PTs around me. I trained a little stupid. I didn't know any better, and I was young, and I had a big ego, and spent a little too much time standing in front of people I shouldn't have spent as much time spending. I'd spar less. I definitely changed things, but I had good, I had as good a facility as anyone else at the time.
Talk about that, the CTEs, brain injuries. What are you doing here to help the fighters to avoid that, or to?
So the research that we've been doing at the Cleveland Clinic, this will be the physical embodiment of that. So when athletes come here, we might ask them to participate in the Cleveland Clinic study. And hopefully from there they'll develop. We actually on an interesting call to develop protocol. So in the NFL they have a return to play protocol after concussion. We don't actually have a protocol like for return to training after an injury. So that's something that we'd like to develop.
How far down the line are you in developing that, and do you think that might keep fighters out of competition if there's if
they shouldn't be competing? Yeah, let's keep fighters out of competition, but let's not ever have them agree to a fight if they're not healthy, So yeah, if we need to keep fighters out of competition for their own good, that's what we're here for, but let's do that as soon as possible, not 2 weeks before a fight.
The week of an event, the logistics, I'm sure many teams, a lot of the fighters will be wanting to use the training center while they're in town. How will that work?
Well, we thought about that, and as I said, there's a sauna and steam room in there. It's all by appointment. So again, the fire marshal says we're going to have 200 people in there. Obviously, we're not going to be staffed for anywhere near that. But, what do you have? 16, 18 athletes a week of a fight? We can manage 18 athletes plus the 10 or 15 athletes that are already in there.
You mentioned so many different...
It's only 6 times a year.
You mentioned so many different technologies, different things that are here.
Again, another thing we're committed to doing is updating. So we have the best of the best right now. But you know what? In a year, there's going to be something better, something we didn't think of, something that isn't out there now. We'll get that.
But what I was going to ask you is, if when you were fighting, what would be the one thing in here that you're like, wow, this I really could have used as a fighter?
I did the ice baths. The cryo chamber's a little easier way to get very similar results to the ice bath. Cryo chamber's actually a little better. But no, I would give myself the advice to spar less and drill more. And to, again, another thing is I would have recorded my sparring sessions. It would have disgusted me to watch them back and see how bad I was. But I would have made myself, watch them back. That's something a lot of guys don't do. And even I, at the end of my career, I was doing it like Lawrence was saying, literally a guy looking up on a cell phone,
Well, I talked to a lot of fighters that don't like doing it or don't think it's important. And I think...
Well, they're wrong. It is important.
But
every other sport does it. Nobody likes doing it.
Right.
It's boring. It sucks. You just see how bad. You just see mistakes.
But I feel like the way you guys have it set up, it'll be like, oh, this makes it really easy to do, and this is why you do it.
Well, think about it. Every NFL, every NBA team, they do film study.
Yeah.
You watch a guy, you watch that, what's his name won't go left, or et cetera, So this is, it's time to evolve the sport. That's, again, that's training your brain without beating your body up. That's important. That's what we need to do here.
You mentioned kind of accommodating everyone like the week of a fight. What about, do you think this is going to change, like guys coming out here for months at a time and doing camp here? I mean, what's your sense of that?
It's not set up to do a camp here. It's set up for you to come out here for 2 weeks. And I want to kind of the way boxing's always done it. They kind of figured it out early. You bring your lead athlete or your 2 lead athletes, and then 2 to 4 people, their training partners, can come out with them and work with them and use the facility as well. So, hey, you come out with me and let me beat you up, and you can use this awesome facility. So it's more that dynamic. Instead of trying to train a team, let's train an athlete at a time.
Lawrence Epstein mentioned the cost, that there won't be a cost to the athletes. That seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but there's still a cost. They have to get out here. They have to find transportation and hotel. So, and we're going to try and help them as far as making that accommodation convenient and having some preferred partners, but it'll still cost. But you'll get at least a meal or two and some pre and post workout shakes and training.
Those guys sleeping in those sleep pods.
Yeah, well.
Are you going to sleep in the sleep pod?
Get out, get out. Well, you guys didn't see my office, so I'm just going to put a cot back there.
How will the data be analyzed? Like, is it just like numbers coming out on there? They're going to have people available?
And that's something, so we'll have a mobile touch point. We're actually in talks right now with a couple different systems that do this for other professional teams. And we'd like to incorporate as much, the MMAWeekly, heart rate variability, much of that technology is to your recovery rate as possible. And they'll be able to leave with the program on their phone where they input data, input heart, etc. And so they'll have that. They'll have a training program. They'll have a diet. So when they leave, they'll have everything they need and how their strength program wraps into their training, etc. So the idea is you come out here and you practice setting it up. What will my body happen? What will my body handle? Can I grapple this time of day, lift it this time of day, and then hit mitts? How do I need to go? So you'll know what you can do physically when you leave, and if they don't do it, that's on them.
Talk about rehabilitation. Are you going to have doctors on staff, or
No, we'll have 2 full-time PTs, and we'll have a doctor on call. So I didn't realize how much, there's a doctor on call all week for the fighters when they get here. So, there's really, I didn't know that when I was a fighter. I wish somebody would have told me. I'm sick. What do you got for? Yeah, right?
Now we heard that you got you have the VP title. Is it VP of?
There's athlete development, molding minds, stuff like that.
Do you feel pretty cool now?
No, I've never felt cool. Let's not push it, man. No, I feel like I'm doing a good job. I feel like I'm doing a good thing, and I'm involved in an important project, though. So I feel like this could make a difference. I could help people in my same situation, me 10 years ago.
You know, you're an author. Are you planning on writing anything about like the evolution of the game and Forrest Griffin's perception of it?
No, but if nobody knows, I might run the Instagram and Twitter for the Performance Institute. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
How is your office here? It's pretty good.
No, I'm not planning on spending a lot of time in there. So my office is the whole building.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Thanks, Forrest.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Forrest.
Always seeing you as
Pleasure.
always.